Yo, what up, everybody? This is James Howard Jr. sitting with the original James Howard for us today, hanging out on the live stream. We're trying something a little different today. So we have a live guest, and so we did start a little bit later because we're trying to get some things mapped out with the tech and all the kind of stuff. So if there's any glitches, if y'all can't hear something, or if it's some kind of noises or anything like that, just leave it in the comments. Let us know. We'll try to adjust on the fly. But I think we're gonna be good. I think we're gonna be good. And so today we try something different because our my co-host, your co-host, Raph, man, they added a new addition to the family, man. And so he's taking care of the new baby. We're so excited about that, man. And so Raph, if you watching, man, dude, like congratulations to you and your family and all that kind of stuff. So we got my pops here today. And we're gonna continue talking about we in a little bit of a series. I don't know the official title, but it's talking about advice you should know before you get married. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. And we're hanging out with this guy, my pops, my father. He's been my father my whole life. And for 30, almost 36 years, man. And been married to my mom for I didn't realize it was almost 40, right?
20,
So
38 years.
30. Oh, we
been
30,
together 42.
been together 42 years.
Yep.
Man, that's something else. And so I'm sure he got a little bit of wisdom, a little bit of insight, a little bit of something that he can help us. As you saw the title today, we're talking about how to have a long-lasting marriage. We're not talking about having the perfect marriage, but we're talking about having a long-lasting marriage. We talk about marriage a lot on this podcast, and so I think it's good advice for those of you who are maybe considering marriage, or maybe those of you who are in marriage right now. You just need some help. We all need some help because marriage is not easy. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know. I didn't read the book.
You did?
I didn't read the book initially.
All right. It's not easy, man. But I know you've been on the podcast before, but I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, I'm James Howard Sr. I'm the original Mr. James. Like I said, I've been his father all his life, and I'm pretty happy with that. And been married for 38 years and been together for 42 years. We're high school sweethearts, and we've been on this road a while and just kind of going through it and loving it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And so, man, I tell y'all, man, if y'all haven't seen the podcast episode, actually, you were the first. I think you were the first.
Wow.
Podcast episode on the Men to Men podcast when we made the shift over to Men to Men, and so that was a pretty good podcast, man. Pretty good episode. So we're gonna try to do the same thing for this one, right? And so we're gonna jump right into it. We usually do games and stuff like that, but man, we got so much wisdom sitting right here, man. We ain't got time to play about anything. All right. And so is there anything else you want to share about yourself? Anything like that?
No, just glad to be here. Just glad. Thanks for inviting me, and glad to be here.
Yeah, man. All right. So let me see. I'm trying to make sure we good. Have some comments. If y'all can hear us, let us know. I don't know if there's any other kind of issues going on like that. So anyway, let's jump into it right here. Let me double check this. We got that with the microphone and stuff like that. I think we're good to go. All right, cool. All right, I think we're good to roll. All right, so first things first, man. Let's talk about marriage. Marriage in itself. We understand that marriage in itself is something that is that's honoring to God. Like you said before, man, it's not anything that's easy. It's not anything that's it's not always fun either. I don't know if you know that. But it is something that we work at. It's something that God honors, and it's something that I believe, man, it's one of the best decisions a man can make in life, other than coming to know the Lord Jesus Christ, man. It's having a woman who stands on your side, who's there to support you, and you support each other. And so yeah, man, with that being said, man, what would you say is the most important part of making a marriage last? What would you say?
God, having God in your life. We got married really young, and Mom and I laugh about it now that when we went off to college and we're grown, we ain't never going back to church. I ain't going back to church. And first thing we did once we got together, next thing you know, we're Sunday rolls around, we're in church.
Yeah.
And it's that seed that was planted growing up as a child. I mean, you're going to church. We're ushers, we're in the choir, doing different things like that. But as a child, you're like, okay, we're going because mom said we're going.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that was seeds being planted then that were going to grow later on. And when we decided to get married, I realized that um, 38 years later, we are together because of the seeds that were planted years and years ago with our grandmothers, our mothers, and to give us that foundation. Because got married. Marriage is a job. You
Mm.
say we got to work at it. Well, it's a job,
Yeah.
24/7. It's not easy, but it is sure enough fun. It
Yeah.
really is fun long term. So
Yeah.
you got to be dedicated to
Mm.
each other and
Yeah.
communicate.
Yeah, and I like what you said about having God as the foundation of it. You my words, but the same thing you just said. Because we understand that when you deal with people, period,
Mhm.
like you need the Lord. If you're trying to honor God with your life, man, and you deal with any kind of people, any kind of sensitive, you need the love, joy, patience, peace, kindness. You need the fruits of the spirit that come from that, man. And when it comes to marriage, like if God isn't the foundation of it, it's just not gonna last.
No.
Right. If you're doing it because of looks, because of sex, because of even money, like that stuff, man, it fades away and it just ain't gonna make it last, man.
Right.
So like you said, having that go, um, having that God as the foundation, is very, very important. Yes, my mama, your wife, she said, yes, Jesus must be your rock. What's up, mama? Thank you for joining the live today.
Hey, baby.
Uh, yep, got your man hostage right here, giving me some wisdom, man.
Let me share something
Go
with you
ahead.
real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I say this to you, and we've had a conversation before that we were talking about family, and I told you, and this was after you got married. I told you, I said, boy, your mama crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't flinch, you didn't hesitate. You told me right away, well, daddy, you married her, so what does that make you? So in my mind, I'm like, and I can't tell him to go to his room because he groans. So I'm like, in my mind, I said, go to your house, go to your house. It
Right.
was funny, but you're right. It makes me crazy, and I'm crazy about your mama. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, and I don't know why. I tell people all the time, I don't know why she married me. I don't know why she stayed with me,
Mm.
but that's not my problem. That's her problem. She
Yeah.
said yes, so
Yeah.
deal with it. Deal with it.
I tell you what, man, it's just it's something when you can go through some things with somebody, right? Just think about just normal life, right? When you go through when you're on teams,
Mhm.
it starts to like little league, you go through, a tough season and stuff like that, and you go through stuff with classmates, you
Mhm.
go through stuff with friends, you go through stuff even in like relationships with
Yep.
boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff like that. It just makes a difference to have somebody there, and especially in marriage, man. I believe and we experienced the hardest parts of our lives um at the time of just me being married,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
All the things that life hits with work, with personal stuff and all that, man, and to have somebody there who can first of all understand you,
Mhm. Mhm.
have somebody there who can listen to you, somebody who can hold you while you cry,
Yep. Yep.
someone who don't care how ugly you look when you cry, man. Because you can boy, I tell you, life can make you cry ugly. But to have someone there, man, through the thick and the thin, it makes a difference, man. And I thank God for Mo, my wife, and just all that we've been through. I mean, we've been married almost 13 years now,
Wow.
and all that, man, that all the stuff that we have to go through, man. I'll tell her sometimes, I was like, man, no, I don't think any other woman could have handled
No.
that. Like the way that we handle stuff together, man, God knew exactly who I needed in those moments. And it's beautiful, man. It's just beautiful to see how uh God works. All right. We got some more technical stuff going on. If y'all can still see stuff and hear stuff, y'all let me know. Stuff ain't looking good on my end, but if we still good, y'all just let me know in the comments. So we gonna keep it rolling. And so next thing, man, let's talk about some more stuff in marriage. We talked about the most important part of marriage. But what would you say is the hardest part about being married? What would you
I
say is
I,
the hardest part?
I think the hardest part and the best part are kind of the same. Initially, it's communication.
Mm,
Um, Earlier on in our relationship, I had kind of weird philosophy. I always want to take care of stuff. I didn't want to share stuff.
Mm,
So me, man, I don't cry. I won't cry because a man doesn't cry, of course.
right.
And I wouldn't communicate a lot of those different things. But your mama, she'll whatever comes up is coming out. She'll let you know. And
Mm,
then it's on the table. And see, that's something great because the devil can't use that against her
yeah.
anymore. If you want to hold it in and hold it down, the devil can use that and mess with your mind. Well, you shouldn't have said that. You should have all that kind of stuff. And she'll tell you straight up. And then it's over. And that's what I love about her. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And that's the same when I would go through hard times.
Hmm.
When I came back from across the pond, I know that my wife never been in your mama never been in the military. She never served, but when I got back, she listened.
Yeah.
She couldn't relate to the things that I did when I was there, but she listened. And you had mentioned it earlier. Listening is really 90% of recovery. If you have somebody that can actually listen to you, listen with you, cry with you
Yeah.
when necessary, it releases some things inside, and that gives space for God to put more good stuff in there because you can't fill a full cup.
Mm,
Cup has to be empty. And the only way you empty the cup is you pour it out and then you get the good stuff in there. And to have a soulmate that will stick by you despite you, because there are many days, I probably should have had a skillet or two, you know,
yeah.
and she just, say what she wants to say, and she's always there. No matter what happened, she's always there. And for 38 years, every morning that I wake up, she's been Mrs. Howard for
Yeah.
38 years of my life. Despite good, the bad, the indifferent, she's still been Mrs. Howard. And I love her for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's important. I think that's important that you can deal with somebody for who they are.
Hmm. Hmm.
Pastor Dwayne, he said this before. He said, man, in marriages, um, people hide the most from their spouses. And it's easy to do that, right? So there always has to be a chance and an opportunity, like you said, for you to be vulnerable,
Hmm.
right? For you to be honest, for you to be authentic, and that just be just who you are.
Hmm.
And I remember when Mo and I were dating, man. There was some personal stuff that I hadn't told anybody. I told
Right, right,
like your
right,
mom
right,
about it,
right.
but I was like, man, if I can tell her this and like she still stick with me,
Hmm.
then she's
Hmm.
the one.
Hmm.
Like she checked all the boxes everywhere else,
Hmm.
so I was already convinced that she, this is the girl I wanted to marry. And man, I remember I was in my apartment at William Carey, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just tell her. I'm gonna just tell her. I'm gonna just tell her. And so later on, we talked, had a conversation. I'm talking about like ugly crying, man. I used to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like this. I used to do this, and it was bad, man. And I'm thinking
Oh,
about it now, just tearing up a little bit now, man.
yeah.
And for her to be like, you know what, I done did some stuff too,
Yep, yep, yep.
I still love you. I still appreciate who you are. And I was like, nah, all right, time to get the ring. Let's roll. It's time to get the ring. Pops, where I buy rings at? Right? It's time to get it rolling, man. It is just I knew at that moment, man, that I was gonna have somebody that was ride or die,
That's it. That's it.
who was just gonna be there. And I didn't know what that was gonna entail looking into the future, but like I knew she was gonna be there,
Yeah.
right? And through all that we've been through, she's just been there and she's been consistent. And I can always know that no matter what kind of day I had, I can go home
Hmm.
and talk to her about it, right? No matter what kind of day she had, she know that once everything gets settled, baby girl in the bed, we can talk about it, right? And we could be mad and we'll fuss and we'll talk about what happened and we'll be mad at this situation and just let it out. And she's still there. And that's just an amazing thing to have, man, an amazing thing to do. So I just want to encourage those of you who are out there, man, considering marriage, like it's a beautiful thing.
Hmm.
It's a beautiful thing to have, man.
Let
It's
me
a
let me
beautiful
share
thing.
this
Go
too.
ahead.
When you get married, you will have some intense fellowships.
Yeah.
you will have.
Uh-huh.
Cups might, cups might break a little bit. I mean,
Uh-huh.
china might fall or something like that. But at the when it's all said and done, you have each other.
Yeah.
And there, the pastor mentioned one Sunday that he has gone to bed, let the sun set without him fixing an issue that was going on.
Hmm.
We've had a few of
That's good.
those, but one thing I know that for your mama,
Yeah.
we'll have intense fellowship, and we'll turn my back. I'm turn her. She'll turn her back. I'll turn my back, and I'm pouting. But all of a sudden, she'll look at me, and I know we're about to make up because she said, "Ooh, I can't stand you," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
And I'll say something corny. Well, you can't sit me down either, so
Yeah.
something silly
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll go over there and she said, "Don't touch me." And it's like a child. When you say "Don't touch," what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm touching you.
Right.
I'm
Right.
touching you. So
Right.
and it's whatever we're arguing about. It's like it's done. And once you get to that point, the devil has to go somewhere else
Right.
because you don't have two good candidates. If we're not fighting, we're making up. We love each other, and we're able to say we're sorry. And that's one of the biggest things I've had a problem with saying apologizing. But once you get to that point, he has to go find something else, somebody else, because you gotta tell them we're not good candidates for you today.
Yeah.
You want to try something else, that somebody else. This is not working for you.
Right.
So
Right. And I think too, we talked about this on the podcast as well. If just is having those clear expectations as far as arguing and settling conflict
mhm,
and stuff like that, man. And I think that's one thing that's key is that you settle it as quickly as
mhm,
possible.
mhm,
Brooke, my cousin,
mhm.
she was talking about she left a comment talking about they have like a 2 hour rule or something like that. You can go be mad, do what you got to do, but in 2 hours we gonna come back and we gonna make up. We gonna talk about it or whatever. You might still be upset, you might still be mad. But we gonna talk about this, man. And I found one thing that I that I thought was crazy. It's because I mama say I get it from you. I like to be mad and I like to stay mad.
That's
It
it.
don't take much for me. I'm like, it take a lot for me to get mad, but when I'm there, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I ain't finna waste being mad because you done made me get here. I'm gonna make sure that you understand that I'm upset.
You gonna max the madness.
Right. We gonna let you know. And man, it's part, I think part of it is humility
Mhm.
and really just being like getting over yourself, really.
Yeah, that's it.
Because when those arguments come and when those intense fellowship times come, at the end of the day, like most of what you fight about, it can be resolved,
Yeah.
right? Or and if it's a bigger issue that needs to be addressed, I mean it can be addressed later on or whatever. And so I think that's one thing, man. That's pretty cool. I
One
think that's
thing
pretty
you
cool.
got to
Go
realize
ahead.
too, in the military used to say, "Don't sweat the small stuff."
Right.
But you put it in perspective. Um, it's all small when you look at it from God's perspective.
Oh,
It's all small. He can fix anything. We hold on to it and we try to make it bigger than what it really is. But in his eyes, it's all small. Come to me, I can handle it.
right.
Whatever it is, just come to me. I got. First of all, I know what's going on anyway. It ain't like you. "Oh, I don't want to talk about this. God don't know about this." Yeah, he's like, I know. Just come to me. Give it to me, and I'll fix it. So
Yeah. Man, that's cool. That's cool, man. Let's move on to the next question. So I think we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I guess we can just like clarify what it is. But what would you say is the best thing about being married? I think we kind of touched on it, but what
yeah,
was the best thing?
for me, and I mentioned it before. Waking up knowing that first of all, I'm in my right mind. I'm not dreaming. I'm not having some kind of out of body experience. When I
Yeah.
wake up, Sheila Marie Gordon Howard is still my wife,
Right.
and that's like wow, that's pretty awesome. And we just go do things now. Beforehand, everything we did basically was surrounded by you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, first one you were born, okay, we got 18 years. Second one, start over 18 years.
Uh,
Third, 18 years. And now Deltas, every time you start over, that's an
yeah.
18-year commitment.
Yeah.
But now we're empty nesters. Your sister's in college doing her thing, singing and doing some great things. And now we just have a lot of time, just us.
Hmm.
We'll stream movies. We'll binge watch movies. We'll just go someplace. And my philosophy now is, since the Lord has blessed me to be retired, I tell her all I need is direction. we're gonna go. We're gassed up. We just go.
Yeah.
As long as we don't have any other commitments, we just go, and we're going together.
Right.
So it's pretty cool just to go driving. We'll
Yeah.
take a Sunday drive and just go driving, looking at houses, looking at land, just doing things, just chilling together.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's us, basically us against the world.
Mhm.
When everything else is going crazy, we have each other and we can depend on each other, and we know all of our little problems and our issues and things like that, but we are still there together. So we just go through life and enjoy it.
That's cool, man. It was something, man. The thing about that I see, give me to get my words together. I think that only can happen when you guys truly like each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because what can happen is we can get caught up, especially younger. We can get caught up in the fantasy
Mm-hmm.
of marriage, right? We can get caught up in the fairy tale
Yep.
ness. Um, we can get caught up in all the glitz and whatever that we think about marriage, and get caught up in weddings, get caught up in
Mm-hmm.
all the stuff, and then have kids, life gets busy, and you really don't get to know each other, right? So I would say that's probably, we'll talk about this later. I think it's one of the biggest things that we need to do for those of you who are out there who consider marriage is like, make sure you actually like the person,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can love some person. It, like, loving somebody isn't a feeling. We talked about that on the
Yep.
podcast too. It's love is work, right?
Oh
It
yeah.
is being committed to that person. But like, do you really like them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Dude, like, if at the end of the day, when it's just me and you in this house,
That's it.
do I like you?
Yep.
Right? When the kids are away, do I like being around you, or do I find an opportunity to leave or go hang out with the boys or whatever? And not, it's not that those things are bad, but like, do you really like the person?
Yep.
And I think that's one thing that's important, man. Brooke says right here, she says marriage, it ain't no fairy tale.
Nope.
All right. It helps when you are married to your best friend. All right. Shout out to Courtney. Courtney, I obviously doing something right, bro. You obviously doing something right,
Go ahead,
bro.
nephew. Go
Right.
ahead.
And so that's the thing, man. Like, do you actually like the person, man? I tell you what, man, I love Mo, but I really, really enjoy her. And it's funny because like, when we first met, like, we weren't even like interested in each other. She had a boyfriend. I was trying to have a girlfriend. And it's just we were just friends. And I got to know her because we were at West Point. I was leading small groups, and I got a group of a whole bunch of ladies and a couple of guys, and they were all college students. I was in college, and my responsibility was to live life and to build life with them. And with that came opportunities for me and Mo to get to know each other and start to know each other more and more and more. And then when, boyfriends fell off and girlfriends got forgotten about, we was like, yo, she kind of cool, man. I like her. I like who she is. And then it turned into what it is today. But I think at the core of it, it wasn't like, oh, she got to be my wife, oh man, and she gonna have to be the one. It was like, yo, we friends, we cool, and then, oh snap, oh, she kind of cute, she
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 all
got
right.
she how you
Take her
doing,
home.
right? And so I think that's just important, man, is to make sure that you actually like the person. All right. So, what advice would you give to a young man who may be considering marriage, or he may kind of be like
On the fence.
on the fence with it? What kind of advice would you give him?
I would say something that I didn't do prior to getting married. I would say get some godly advice from men with wisdom who have been there, who have gone through some tough times, because you can't really share with someone an experience unless you have gone through that. Being an older man, gone through some things, I would say to a younger man, look, first of all, like you said, be friends, then get you some good godly counseling. Um, Go to your church. Get some counseling from your pastor, whoever that person is, that can talk to you about what God says marriage is about, and not the fantasy of marriage, not the Hollywood version of marriage. Let them know up front. It's gonna be tough. You have to work. It's a job, and it's 24/7 full time as long as you're married. It's just the way it's gonna have to be. So talk to each other about a lot of different things. What could come up, possibility, different scenarios. How do you feel about that type of stuff? So family,
Mhm.
their family, your family. Don't don't
Like the
let
in-laws,
family
future
in-laws,
in-laws.
yeah,
Okay, I
future
got you.
in-laws. Make sure that you have an understanding between the two of you about the relationship that's going to happen when you get married in the family. Now, for me, it was easy because I couldn't do no wrong with her grandmother or her mom. We have a intense fellowship. First thing her mom asked her is, "Okay, what'd you do?" So I'm like, "Cool, I'm good. I'm in. I can't do no wrong."
Yeah.
But it's
Shout out
you
to
have
Granny.
to
What's up, Granny?
communicate. You have to communicate. Thanks, Mama Janice. Thank you very much. And you just have to communicate that up front, um, because if you don't, you'll get into a societal marriage. The societal word.
It's gonna be a word
It's the
today.
word today.
I don't know
You
what the
get into
definition is.
you get into that thing what society says,
Uh
and if
huh.
it doesn't work, if it's not all good, okay, let's get a divorce.
Yeah.
You've been married for 10 minutes, and you want to quit. Nah, you gotta. It's work.
Yeah.
It was work. Just understand that going in, it's going to be work.
Yeah.
But the results is pretty cool.
Yeah, man. And so, man, I think one thing you said, man, you said a lot of great stuff right there. One thing you said is really getting to know the person
Hmm.
right before you jump into the marriage. I think that's important, man, because we're reading this book, man. It's called the discipline. I think the discipline of a godly man. Of a godly man. I can't remember the name of it. But in this book, it's a chapter that specifically talks about. I'm gonna pull it up, y'all, because this is good stuff right here. It specifically talks about marriage, and it talks about discipline within a marriage. And one of the main things it points out about is, yeah, it says disciplines of a godly man. um it's a good book. I'll have to put it in the show notes or something like that. But one thing he said in this book, Disciplines of a Godly Man, specifically talking about marriage, he says that marriage is going to expose everything
Yeah.
about that person, right?
Hmm.
And so it highlights the good and the bad. And
Yep.
so if you were annoyed by something when y'all were dating, then that ain't gonna change because you said
No.
I do, right? If something bothers you about her before y'all got married, that ain't gonna change because you had a nice wedding, right? If you had issues that you didn't deal with before you came into the marriage, personally, mentally, whatever it is, that stuff just don't magically go away. And so getting to know all that you can about the person is a very, very, very important part,
Hmm.
because what's gonna happen is you're gonna get in that marriage and things gonna get real, and you're gonna be like, who is this person?
Yep.
All right. Brooks is giving some more advice. I want to let's read through this one. She says, I think many are in love with the idea of marriage
That's it.
and what it means in regards to social status and social media likes. But she's stepping on toes, Brooke. Watch out now. But a long-lasting marriage is a journey to selflessness, continual, and yeah, I think cut off at the end. Oh, okay. Examination and growth. It probably cut off what all she had to say. And that's good, man. Because it is, like I said, we said this earlier, man. It's all about getting over yourself,
Hmm.
honestly.
Hmm.
Right. If you're gonna be married for a long time, for 40 plus 50 years, you gonna have to get over yourself. Both of y'all. Both of y'all are just gonna have to get over yourselves, because Pastor Dwayne, our pastor, talks about it too. It's like you want to outserve the
Hmm.
person. You want to outserve the person. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you do that, you're always going to be. I wouldn't say always going to be. You're going to be happier because you're trying to do something for that person because that person is your life.
Mhm.
You just want to make them happy. The little things. And I do that all the time. Mama, we have a snack or something like that, and she'll just put her plate down, and I've gotten to the point now where I just automatically just pick it up and go,
Mhm.
just put it in the dishwasher, and she
Yeah,
says thank you. That means a lot to
yeah,
me. I mean, it's the small things that mean a lot to me, and I love doing it. I mean, I
yeah,
just love doing it, and that's just kind of my thing now. And I mean, the little things, you'd be amazed at how much. you can get enjoyment out of just the little things.
Right. And that's a mindset.
Mhm.
Because somebody else could see that same plate, be like, she don't never pick up her stuff.
Yep.
Right. she always leave the stuff right here. I always got to clean up after you. Right. This is the mindset. If you switch your mindset from a complainer
Yep.
to a person who's a servant, like it just changes everything. It changes from you don't never fold the clothes to baby, let me fold them clothes for you. To you don't never wash the dishes to baby, let me wash some dishes for you. And there is some balance that everybody, it needs to be fair or whatever. But if your goal as the man, since this is the Men to Men podcast, right? Our goal as men is to lead by example and to be the ones who step up and who do the things that nobody else wants to do, right? In the marriage, you want to step up, you want to be the one who serves, you want to be the one who steps out and does that. You got something else you want to add to that?
I got it. I get enjoyment out of it. It's crazy, but if she were to, put her plate in the dish pan, I'd be like, what happened? What, are you mad at me? I wanted to do that. Don't take that away from me type stuff. And it's just like, it's crazy because I love doing little things like that. And it doesn't bother me. I remember back when we first got married, it was, we would have intense fellowships on who's going to wash dishes. You're talking about 2 forks, 2 plates, and a spoon. Or two, and that's it. And it's so small, and we're getting an intense fellowship about that, and it's crazy. And I look back on it, I'm like, now, cool. I just love doing it. We all have our roles in the marriage. Finances. She can juggle the books and do things like that. I mean, she should be with the Barnum and Bailey Circus. She can make things happen, but that's her gift.
Yeah.
Putting on a party. Get together. She can put on a party in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
My birthday party, it's like 2 days. You get people in the middle of the week come to the house, and we got 50 folks at the house.
Right.
In a
I was
matter
there.
of 2
I
days,
remember.
a couple of days, and it all went flawless because that's her gifting. She is
Yeah.
she is an excellent communicator. She is an excellent server. She has a degree in hospitality management, but that's her personality reaches out and touch people. She knows absolutely no strangers.
Yeah.
None. I have a lot of my friends by vicariously through her just because she made them. Okay,
Yeah.
I got a friend now too. So
Yeah.
she's just that kind of person.
And I tell you what, Mama, she just wants to clarify. She says she hates folding clothes and washing dishes or ironing.
Yep.
Dad, you do all that.
I do.
I remember coming up. This is good training for those parents out there for a young man. I remember having to iron mom's blouses and shirts and pants, and it ain't like regular stuff like we wear, right? And so I remember ironing blouses that had like 5 layers of something right here, and you can't turn the iron all the way up because if you turn the iron all the way up, it's gonna burn through all 5 layers. And so that was some good training as a man. As a man, for all those parents out there, for all the moms out there, it may be okay to let your son iron your blouses and stuff. Just teach him how to do it, because what happens is I'll grab Mo's clothes and I already know.
Yep.
If it's nylon or Ryan or whatever that fabric is, you don't turn it all the way up to 8. You turn it to 2 or 3. You get it down and you do each layer at a time, man. So I just remember that's a little side note. I'm lost track of where we was going.
And let me tell you, since we're on that track, I'm a towels. I have to fold the towels. I'm OCD, XYZ, elemental P, all of them about folding towels.
Mm-hmm.
On military guy, I mean, if you don't fold them the right way, they have the crease has to be a certain level. Then you fold it back over, and you have to put them in there a certain way. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm that crazy about folding towels. But on the other side, we got 2 different sets of kind of towels that she used and I use, and I'm terrible at figuring out, okay, this her towel, this is my towel. So now I get to the point where I fold them up the way they should be folded because I'm a military guy. I'll sit them on the sink. If I know they're not mine, if I have a question of whether they're mine or not, I just sit them on the sink. She said, just leave them there. I'll do it.
They folded.
They folded right.
Yeah. She's like, I don't mind putting them away. She's like, I just don't want to fold them, man. That's something, man, because I didn't know I got that from you. Because I want towels folded a certain way. And Mo is just like, you know what? You can just fold them then.
That's it.
Right? Because I don't know how to fold them. And it's funny because Arya can fold towels like I can fold towels.
Yep.
And so she'll sit there. I remember one time, man, we were folding clothes, and basically Arya was just like, hey, mommy, watch this. Let me show you how to fold this. And so she folds these clothes and she folds the towels and stuff like that. It was pretty cool, man. Cool. We got a couple comments coming in. We got my friend Justin Fortenberry. What's up, dude? How you been, dude? It's good to see you on here. Friend from college, man. He says right here, he says, "Hey man, brother, marriage is work. People need to think about the work God put into us. Marriage is a living reminder of our relationship with Christ. Be a leader, be the leader he made you to be." Good stuff, Justin, man. Good to hear from you, man. Thank you for tuning in. We got Auntie Shawanza. She's up in here
Okay.
too. Great. What support can you offer for a single person that desires to be married? Do you have some advice for that?
Being equally yoked. It's difficult because if you have a strong um, Christian background, you got to, you're deep into the word. You know what God says. You have to find someone who is equally yoked with you.
Right.
And that might not be so easy.
Yeah.
And then once you get there, you have to, once again, you got to work on it.
Right.
Initially, y'all can get together and okay, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. But as long as you're equally yoked, we can work out those things.
Yeah.
To have a real good mixture. But it's work.
Right.
It's work.
Yeah, and I think like we said before, for those of you out here who are single, trying to find somebody, I would say too is finding someone who loves God. And man, like I know that ain't easy. Like especially for the ladies out there, because we men's is a mess. We is a mess. You got to say it like that. We is a mess, man. And so there's this. That's why we doing the Men to Men podcast, man. So we can try to develop more men who love God and want to honor Him in every single part of their lives, so that they can be good husbands. They can be good candidates, right? But that's what I would suggest is just finding somebody, looking for somebody who loves God and who really wants to really live for Him. And then man, prayers out for those of you waiting around for that person, man. And I truly believe he gonna come. He may be listening to this podcast.
That's it.
He may need to listen to this episode to get ready, right? And this one episode, he gonna be ready for you. Then the Lord gonna reveal him to you like that. I declare that.
Yeah.
What you think? I feel like that is prophetic, right there.
I see the man out there right now. He's like, put me in, coach.
Right.
Put me in, coach.
I'm ready. He's watching this episode. He's like, you know what? That's what I need to do. And that's the last thing he needed to do was watch this episode so that he can be ready for you. That's what we're gonna say. We gonna claim that. I don't know how true it is, but we'll say that. All right, cool, man. We got the next one right here. Let me see. I think that was our last question we had right there.
Okay, it's all good. It's all
cool,
good.
man. And so, any other advice, man, for young men out there as far as marriage, as far as self-development and stuff like that, but as we land the plane today?
Just don't. I think don't get into the fantasy. I think Brooke said that. Don't get into the fantasy, the Hollywood version of marriage. Go in with an open mind. Go in with a servant worker's mind, knowing that you got to work and you got to serve. You work and serve. You put those two together, that's going to be a pretty good ingredients for success. But you both have to do that. Work and serve. And it's good days, bad days. I've had several bad days, but my good days outweigh my bad days. When I look at the big picture, I have 4 beautiful children. I have 1 beautiful wife. And I've been married once and renewed once, and I don't know why she renewed me, but once again, that's her problem. Love you, honey. But it's just fun. I love having fun. Just do daily life. Just have fun. Just have fun.
That's good. Well, that's it, man. And my encouragement, man, is for those of you who are out there and considering marriage, for the men out there, man, like, dude, like, I say go for it, man. If God has put a lady in your way or in your path and you're trying to figure it out, man, I say get wise counsel, like we said, premarital counseling, find out all that you can about each other before you say I do, and go for it, man, because God is going to honor that. And I understand for some, might be like money issue and different things like that, man. God gonna take care of it all. And so I would just encourage you to go in, do what you have to do to prepare yourself well, and then go for it, man. It ain't gonna be easy, it ain't gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. Yeah, man. Anything else you got?
No, good.
Cool, man. Well, we like to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of the Men to Men podcast live stream with the live guests. And so, first live guest, you were the first guest on the whole podcast.
Oh wow!
Cool. And now you're the first live guest that we've had on the live stream.
Awesome.
And so, man, you just a trailblazer, man. Trailblazer.
I feel special.
Hey, thank all of y'all for tuning in. We got a lot of family. Like I think all of the family from Louisiana is on here. I see Joyce, Shawanza,
okay,
all of them, man. So big ups. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. And make sure y'all leave a comment if you're watching this or listening to this on the audio platform. Make sure that you are telling other people about this. If you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and smash subscribe, turn on those notifications so you can be reminded of the live stream. We do this every other week. And so we got a lot of exciting things going on. And then, like I said, if you're following the Facebook page or the different things like that, make sure that you are connected, that you have notifications turned on so you can know about everything that we have coming up in the future. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of the Men's Men Podcast. Peace.